Hello all. In this video we are going to see how we would be doing animations on the iPhone application. So I just ran the program and this is my app. So when I click show button here, so all my graphical user interface components has been appeared, and in that here I have an image view and then four more buttons. So happy, sad, angry and shake me. So when I click happy, I got this happy emoticon, sad, a sad emoticon, angry, angry emoticon. If you notice, it is coming with some delay. It is appearing with some delay. So which is basically an animation that we will be showing you in this app. And let's say if you're in happy and if you say shake me, it is um, changing the width and height of that particular image, and you would be able to see that it is doing a spring with the damping, right? So that is basically from the animate method. If you are an angry and then click shake me, it would be doing the same thing. So basically that is doing a spring with damping and changing the location of the initial image. Okay, so this is the functionality of what we are going to see today. So and the show button was disabled, so that's why you're not able to see the blinking of the text in the show here. Okay, so you see the functionality. So whenever you on the app you click on show, and all these have been appeared, and once it has been appeared, you're doing the functionality of each and every button here. Okay, so in this, what all we are using, we are designing the UI, and we are applying the constraints, and we are writing our source code. Okay, so we will see one by one just now. Okay, so in the design part, so let's say this is the UI, graphical user sorry, this is a UI for the image view. Okay, so image view, and I have four buttons. Okay, so if you notice, all these have been aligned in a better way, so in a horizontal way, and also in the to the center of the screen. Okay, so we will show you how you would be doing that. First, in the image UI part, so whenever you select the image here, make sure you select that particular image. Okay, so initially I have hello there, which is a completely different emoticon compared to happy, sad or angry. So select that emoticon here, hello. Okay, so that is first thing you have to do. Actually, before that, you need to put them in your assets folder, right? So all these icons should be in the assets folder: angry, happy, hello, sad. Okay, so all these emoticons should be in the assets folder, and then in the main.storyboard, select the UI and then select your image by default, what you want to appear, and then make sure you select all these. You have to apply constraints to be responsive on any kind of device. So click on constraints. When you click on constraints, let's do the y-axis part. So select this, and you get already 6 constraints. So those 6 constraints are for these 6 components, and then we want to do width and height. So basically that would be aligned in an appropriate way. Okay, so those are 18 constraints. I have already added constraints here, but I'm not adding. So you could be able to add some constraints here by clicking add constraints. So remember, once we're done with y-axis, definitely you would get an error that you have to do constraints for y-axis also. So here what we want to do is, we don't want to do on the same constraints here. Instead, we will be doing that in the align thing. Okay, so align. So basically you have to select once again all those, and then click on the alignment, select these, so which would be another 6 more constraints. Okay, so totally you will be having 6 plus 18 constraints. Okay, so those are the constraints that you have to add. I showed you I haven't added here, but in the video, but I already added here. You could see I have all these constraints, and for each component we have constraints for width and height. Okay, so that should be already added for each component. As you know, in the view controller.swift, we would be creating outlets and actions, and we'll write the code. Okay, I will explain a little bit the logic, and I will provide you the source code as well. Here we have created outlet for image view, happy button, sad button, angry button, shake me button, and show button as well. Okay, and we have our view did load. We didn't have any functionality, and I will explain that tomorrow in the class why we didn't have functionality here. And we have action items. For example, happy button clicked. So what should happen when we click happy button? You should be able to animate an image with the happy button. And I have a method called animate image happy, and in that we'll see what it's happening. And similarly, we have sad button and angry button. Okay, so all the three buttons are doing the same. That's why I have a separate method, and I'm calling that method. Let's see what we are doing. It is taking an image name, which is happy, sad, or angry. And so if you notice, whenever we are clicking the button, one second. Whenever we are clicking the button, if you notice, it is taking some time to getting it opaque and also appearing it later, right? So this is what we are doing on the happy button or any kind of those three buttons. So the image must be hidden or it has to be opaque first. So whatever the image that we are doing, so we are using view UI view.animate. So within the duration of 1 second, and we are doing animation, and we are writing a closure code here. Okay, so what we are doing is we are setting the image outlet to alpha is 0. So basically whenever you put 0, that is getting opaque, and it has alpha has value from 0 to 1. So 0 is getting the object as opaque, and that means it's kind of hidden, and 1 is to appear. Okay, so we have done this. And one thing that you have to remember, whenever you have a global variables here, you have to refer that as a self within the closure code here. Okay, so this is part of the parameter of animate method. Okay, and image will appear within the given duration. So, and then the image is appearing here with 1 and then delay of 0.2 seconds, and this is 1 second. And here alpha has been appearing, 1 is the highest value, it's appearing. And we are including the image, which is whichever the image that we will pass here, that would be happy, sad, or angry, and we are setting it to here. Okay, we have already seen this part of code in the previous apps. Okay, so those that is a functionality for these three buttons. Okay, so happy, sad, and angry. And what we are doing whenever we shake me button clicked. Okay, so let me show you that. Okay, so that means the image width and height is changing, and it is appearing in a bigger way. Okay, so in a bigger frame. So we are changing the width and height to maybe changing to +40, and changing the origin also to -20, because we are changing the width and height. Definitely we have to change the origin. And then we are creating a frame with a CG rect by passing those origin and height and width. And then we are using spring width damping and initial velocity. Okay, so again, this would be from 0 to 1 as well for spring width damping. And if you are closer to 0, that would be more damping. And I mean, it's a kind of a spring action, so which would be more damping. And when you closer to 1, you will not get, it's a kind of a stationary. Okay. Basically we are using one method here, so which is animate, and in the previous animate we used only duration, delay, and we have written some animations here. So in addition to that, we are using spring with damping and initial velocity, initial spring velocity. Okay, so I would recommend you to change these values and see how your damping would be changed. Okay, so this is in the um, shake me button. So in the show button, as you have seen already in the beginning of the view, whenever we click the show button, you are appearing all the components to the center of the view here. Okay, so for that what we are doing is we are getting the center of the view. Okay, so which is self.view.center of x, which is the x coordinate, and for every component we are getting its center of x coordinate and we are assigning. Okay, so that is a simple code that you would be able to see, and at the end we are making our show outlet button is false, enabled false. Basically, again, if you notice, we are writing all this in an animate method with the duration 1 and animations. All this code is written in a closure part. Okay, so I will be providing you the source code for this. I recommend you to work on this app. Thank you.